Today on the Rockbridge Report, how Buena Vista residents got up close and personal with their police department. Then, President Donald Trump's latest war of words across the aisle. Also, a winter storm descended on Lexington this week. We'll tell you when you can expect a much-needed thaw. And the electric new program that's being offered at Rockbridge County High School. All that and more up next on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news for Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Allie Chebahar.
And I'm Parker Butler. Investigators are left wondering what drove a man to commit the 5 bombings that killed 2 people and seriously injured 4 others in Texas. The month-long Austin bomber saga came to a close early yesterday morning after police located and surrounded the car of 23-year-old Mark Anthony Condit in a suburb north of Austin. When they moved in to detain him, Condit detonated an explosive device inside of his vehicle, causing an officer to open fire at him as well. Condit died at the scene, but left behind a 25-minute-long video on his phone in which he confessed to the crimes, but offered no motive for his actions. KXAN's Kristen Holmes reports from Austin.
Well, there are still a lot of questions surrounding Austin serial bomber Mark Condit, especially when it comes to motive. Now, this is despite the fact that law enforcement found a 25-minute-long video that they're calling a confession on Condit's phone, a video he recorded as law enforcement was closing in on him. But they say that there's not a lot of talk about motive. He doesn't link to any terror groups. He doesn't link to any hate groups. Instead, it's more of an insight into him. At one point, the police chief calling it a, quote, outcry of a very challenged young man.
On this recording, the suspect describes the 6 bombs that he constructed with a level of specificity that he identified the differences among those 6 bombs.
In a statement released yesterday through their pastor, the family of victim Draylon Mason said that the uncovering of the identity of their son's killer, quote, brought some closure, but they are still looking for answers as to why he was targeted.
Congress has until Friday to approve a budget to keep the government open through the remainder of the fiscal year. Congressional leaders announced the $1.3 trillion bill last night, a last-ditch effort to prevent a third government shutdown this year. Notable aspects of the bill include over $1.5 billion allotted to build President Trump's border wall, as well as increased spending to combat the opioid crisis in America. But noticeably absent are any provisions to protect DACA recipients from being deported, a caveat that congressional Democrats have fought to include in the bill for months.
Facebook shares have taken a $60 billion hit this week as a result of the Cambridge Analytica scandal. A data firm was discovered to have secretly compiled information from over 50 million Facebook users to target American voters for the Trump campaign. Now, members of Congress are calling on CEO Mark Zuckerberg to testify on the matter. CNN's Andrew Spencer reports.
This was a major breach of trust, and I'm really sorry that this happened.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg apologized in an exclusive TV interview with CNN's Lori Siegel.
We have a basic responsibility to protect people's data, and if we can't do that, then we don't deserve to have the opportunity to serve people.
Echoing part of the written statement he posted online, Zuckerberg promised to look deeper into the activity of app developers.
I think the question here is, are app developers who people have given access to their data, are they doing something that people don't want? Are they selling the data in a way that people don't want? Or are they giving it to someone that they don't have authorization to do?
Some members of Congress are now calling on Zuckerberg to talk about what happened under oath.
Will you testify before Congress?
So the short answer is I'm happy to if it's the right thing to do.
The longer answer?
What we try to do is send the person at Facebook who will have the most knowledge about what Congress is trying to learn. So if that's me, then I am happy to go.
You are the brand of Facebook. You are the name of Facebook. People want to hear from you.
And that's why I'm doing this interview. But you know, I think that there's the question in a question of congressional testimony is, what is the goal, right? And that's not a media opportunity, right? Or at least it's not supposed to be.
Zuckerberg says Facebook's responsibility now
is to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
In a speech given to the University of Miami College Democrats on Tuesday, former Vice President Joe Biden insinuated that he wanted to fight President Trump after the infamous Access Hollywood tape came out in 2016.
When a guy who ended up becoming a national leader said, I can grab a woman anywhere and she likes it, and then said, I made a mistake, I didn't make a mistake. They asked me, would I like to debate this gentleman? I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take you behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. I've been in a lot of locker rooms my whole life, a pretty damn good athlete. Any guy who talked that way was usually the fattest, ugliest SOB in the room.
President Trump responded to the barb with one of his trademark tweets. Trump Joe Biden isn't the only one on the president's bad side this week.
That's right. But this time, his opponent is a much more dangerous one, China. The Trump administration is expected today to enact trade tariffs against China that could affect up to $60 billion worth of Chinese products. The move is the White House's way of pressuring China after a 7-month investigation concluded that the Chinese have been deploying hackers to steal the U.S.'s intellectual property. Dozens of U.S. industries joined together over the weekend to send a joint letter to President Trump, saying that implementing tariffs would incite a trade war with the Asian superpower. China seemingly confirmed that threat today, vowing to take, quote, all necessary measures if targeted by President Trump. Investors are keeping an eye on these trade developments. The Dow Jones closed today at 23,993 down, 688.86 points, the worst one-day fall in 6 weeks for the index.
Opioids make national headlines again after President Trump called for the death penalty for drug dealers this week. But in Rockbridge County, opioids aren't the problem, meth is. Lexington and Rockbridge County Commonwealth's attorney, Chris Bilius, said the sheer addictiveness of meth is what makes it almost impossible to treat. The Rockbridge Area Community Services Executive Director says the number of meth patients who have received treatment has doubled in the past 2 years. Up ahead, how
It's been a snowy week in Lexington, and it looks like this weather is here to stay just a little while longer. I'll let you know what to expect this weekend next.
All that and more after the break.
Mom.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to take care of you.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes, B, console her,
don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
A team of Rockbridge County High School students placed first in a regional wind turbine design challenge earlier this month. Emma Durr has the story of their journey to nationals.
Talk about beginner's luck. Rockbridge County High School students competed for the first time in the Southwest Virginia Kid Wind competition on March 5th, and they won. The goal of the challenge is to teach kids about the power and potential of wind energy.
Engaging and memorable moments in education. The things these kids are doing, they will remember for their entire lives. They won't remember the worksheet they did in math last week, but I promise you they will remember this wind turbine competition.
The students learned to build the machine in their energy, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning classes, which are part of the high school's new Science and Technology Academy. The event was sponsored and judged by local energy management companies. The judges wanted to know just how much wind energy their machine can produce.
It would definitely be able to power a light bulb. It would I think it generated enough power to power up one electrical socket.
Everyone on the team credits their success to their ability to work together.
Kind of came together and worked as a team and as a unit to get it done.
The team will be improving the turbine's design before nationals.
They really enjoyed that part of it, taking something they learned somewhere else and applying it to a new area. I think that was one of the fascinating things for them.
Wilder said that the wind turbine they bring home from nationals will be placed on top of the school to actually produce energy for the building. The team said they are excited to see their work in action.
And out of all that, the time we took out of it, it got us to first place, and then now we're heading to the championships.
The team will be headed to nationals on May 8th in Chicago. The students will have the opportunity to attend a premier wind energy conference and network with industry professionals. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Emma Durr.
It'll be interesting to see what Rockbridge students accomplish in the next few years as they focus more on wind turbine technology and renewable energy.
So impressive for those Rockbridge County students, but I'm sure they enjoyed a day off from school yesterday because spring may have officially started on Tuesday. The latest nor'easter to hit the Atlantic coast turned Rockbridge County into a winter wonderland yesterday. Allie, I cannot believe we are having snow in March. It is spring. Aspen, do I have to expect more snow or can I get some sunshine?
Unfortunately, we do have a little bit more snow, but there is some sunshine up too, so let's take a look.
Thanks, Aspen. Hopefully spring is just around the corner. Kendall at Lexington is taking its residents across the world and under the sea with their new virtual reality program. Paige Williams spoke with the woman in charge.
Shannon Khalifa, who will be administering the program, said she wants to use this new software for mental health treatment, especially depression and anxiety.
For some folks who are, they're really at the end stages of their life and they're not able to leave the bed, then they could also have perhaps one of the more relaxing experiences.
To just have an experience of like, oh, here are puppies and kittens around me.
Karen Jackson, Director of Resident Services for Kendall at Lexington, said the program can help residents who have lost mobility.
We can take them for walks in the parking lot or around the building, but to be able to experience something beyond that is not likely for those individuals.
Jackson said patients with dementia have also responded positively. She said they have gone on virtual journeys together, to a jazz concert, to an art exhibit, even to the middle of a soccer game.
But one of the residents, she was a teacher and she loved sports. And so we helped her get into a soccer game. And the next thing you know, she's sitting in her wheelchair and she's lifting her feet as if she's trying to kick at the soccer ball.
Josh Eastridge, an employee at Kendall, tested out the virtual reality experience for us.
Oh, wow.
What do you see?
A chair, 2 windows. Now it's changing to people sitting and standing. Oh, wow. Snowy, sitting on the bench. There's lights around.
Jackson said residents are going to be able to request 360-degree video from places that aren't already available to explore on the software. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Paige Williams.
The program will take about 6 months to be fully implemented into Kendall's services.
After the break, how Rockbridge County is taking steps to fight a nationwide crisis here at home.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Each one of our journeys keeps us young. Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
We'll never get older. Each one Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report. Congressional leaders have agreed to partially revoke the sweeping ban on federal agencies conducting gun violence research. The 1996 provision, known as the Dickey Amendment, was intended to stop the federal government from getting involved in the contentious political issue of gun violence. The partial reversal opens the door for the Center for Disease Control to begin conducting research into the issue. They are still barred from publicly advocating for stricter gun control, regardless of their findings. As the national conversation on gun violence continues in the wake of the Parkland shooting last month, students nationwide are converging on Washington this weekend for the March for Our Lives protest.
If you're under 18, I'm a little sad. Who else wants to get somebody take them?
It's really good to actually demonstrate how much we know at an age
where kids are usually thought of as stupid or like not knowledgeable, even though we're going through all of these classes and courses and we are learning more about our current society and current events more than most adults do.
It's not just a community event, it's like more of a nationwide event, not just in Broward County. It's like everywhere, and there's a whole bunch of marches happening in so many other places besides Florida. So it's pretty cool to watch and be a part of.
I think this is going to be a real moment of change in this country, and I think there is going to be a decision on gun control that is going to be made.
16 Rockbridge area citizens are newly minted graduates of the Police Academy. But they're not going on patrol. They spent the past 10 weeks learning about police force responsibilities, interactions with the community, and more. Buena Vista Police Chief Keith Hartman began the Citizens Police Academy in January with the goal of improving the relationship between officers and citizens they serve and protect. As Olivia Hewitt reports.
Once a week, these local residents came to 100 Boehner Lane in Buena Vista to learn what it's like to be a police officer these days. After 10 weeks of presentations, discussions, and even hands-on activities, the first class of the Citizen Police Academy graduated March 20th.
I think it shows that the ones that did attend a different perspective of what the police and the sheriff's office actually do on a daily basis.
The program was funded by the 21st Century Community Policing Grant. Citizens heard from guest speakers such as criminal investigators, detectives, and animal control specialists each week.
It has made me realize that they are very kind-hearted and they want the best for the community.
Jennifer Balke is a Perry McClure High School teacher. She said she attends the Citizen Police Academy because she helps run a junior police academy in her high school class.
I think it is important to build positive relationship between the police and the community.
Lexington resident Susanna Fortney chose to attend the academy to better understand police officers' role throughout Rockbridge County.
The more understanding we have of the role that police officers play in our community, the better off we're going to be.
Each week, students learn a new topic relating to police force operations, such as canine units, narcotic control, forensics, and firearms. Students say the program has improved the community's relationship with police force. Chief Hartman said he plans to run the academy twice a year, once in September and the other in January. Extra classes will be added to the program based on feedback from the recent graduates. Hartman said he will soon start accepting applications. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Olivia Hewitt.
Coming up, we'll have all the updates as the NCAA tournament starts coming down to the wire.
Then
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking, now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
A gray wave of baby boomers is starting to flood local resources. People over 60 years old will make up almost 40% of the population in Rockbridge County by 2020. Citizens say the numbers are, quote, staggering, and that more resources should be allocated for the senior population. Affordable housing and transportation are at the top of the list for many seniors. The County Board of Supervisors has discussed adjusting taxes for seniors living in poverty.
So James, my bracket is already in last, as usual. How's yours doing this year?
Well, I'd say mine looks probably pretty similar, as the entire left side of my bracket is covered in red right now. And in local sports, the wintry weather canceled many sporting events this week, but the Rockbridge County Wildcats managed to sneak in a few wins with the girls and boys contests to catch this week include WNL Baseball against Eastern Mennonite tomorrow at 4 p.m. and VMI Men's Lacrosse against Furman on Saturday, and that game will be at noon. It's been a wild week in March Madness so far, with no more shocking event than the 16th ranked UMBC Retrievers defeating the #1 seed Virginia last weekend. Though the Cinderella team lost week. Back to you, Parker and Allie.
Thanks, James. Local movie lovers can once again enjoy a film under the stars. Abigail Somerville is live at Hull's Drive-In Theater and has the report.
Drive-In opened its gates St. Patrick's weekend for the 68th season. Newly hired executive director Lauren Summers says the theater was just updated with new technology.
There's all new wiring and all new sound system out here at the theater. We're very excited about that, and we were able to maintain a lot of the old original speaker heads, so it still has the old-time feel, but with good new sound.
New operations director Laura Post says the wiring was original from the 1950s and was due for an upgrade. The project was funded through a $20,000 donation from an anonymous patron. Summers says that kind of support is vital for the drive-in, which operates as a nonprofit.
You are relying on a lot of volunteers and a lot of community support just to be able to keep the doors open and the lights on. Fortunately, Rockbridge County and Lexington in particular have been very good at helping that mission.
The drive-in makes about $400,000 in revenue each year. All of the profits are used to make improvements to the theater. Hull's volunteer Nelson Schmidt says he prefers the drive-in to a regular movie theater for several reasons.
Here, maybe you're in your car, but you're here for, an hour or two beforehand, and you're talking with everybody, and everybody comes around, and we got these picnic tables that you can, and people go into the other cars and sit on the tailgates, and it's that's the big thing for me.
The drive-in plays 2 movies every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Entry for each night costs $7 for adults and $3 for children ages 5 to 11. It's free for younger kids.
We are able to keep our prices pretty low so that it's a great family evening out and it's not going to break the wallet.
But the drive-in also faces its share of challenges. Mike Bell, co-chair of the theater's board of directors, says there is more competition now from Netflix and Amazon.
Last year was not a good year for any of the movie theaters, and the same was true for us. We didn't hit our budget, but we did make some money.
Hull's Drive-In is playing Star Wars: The Last Jedi and Justice League this weekend.
That's it for this week's edition of the Rockbridge Report. Make sure to tune in for next week's show at 4:30 on Thursday.
And you can find all our coverage on our website at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu. See you next time.